All right, we are just going to go over the homework for tonight. The students did the same type of graphic organizer at school today in class, and we will have the same kind of format, filling out a graphic organizer for our little quiz tomorrow. And these are all the different types of multiplication that we've been working on for the last 2 weeks. So we're just taking all those concepts and putting them into word problems this week. So the first thing that the students should do with their word problem is cube it. That's something we practice every single day. And that's just when you have a word problem, are you going through and like pulling out the important things that you need to make sure that you solve it correctly, use all the information that's important. So the first thing is they need to circle the words in their units. So Rachel baked 5 trays. Each tray held 4 brownies. So they circled the numbers, circled their units. The numbers that are important were 5 and 4. 5 trays, 4 brownies. The next thing is to underline. What do they actually want us to do? We want to figure out how many total brownies did she bake. Then we box in any keywords that help us know what we're supposed to be doing. So they should already know, we've been practicing this, that each, and total are both good clue words in math. We know that each means we're going to have some kind of equal group situation. In this case, every tray or each tray is going to have 4 brownies on it. And then total lets us know that we are going to be trying to put groups together. So with addition or multiplication, those two are related. So total is always going to be a clue to multiply or to add, which we'll be doing both in this situation. Then they eliminate any extra information. This problem does not have any. And then the last strategy of the cubes method is to solve it. So they're going to show that they can solve it with all the different methods that we've been learning. So the first one is to draw an equal groups picture to match the problem. So 5 trays represents our 5 groups. They can do squares, they can do circles, whatever they need to do to show that they understand there's 5 groups. Then each group had 4. Again, they can draw squares for brownies. They can put circles. They can put tallies, whatever they want to do to represent that they're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in each group. In my class, I have them go back and just count it one more time. Why not? You can go back and check your work. Do it so you don't make a silly mistake. So here they have 5 groups of 4 brownies in each, and that's all they have to do, just their equal groups picture. The next thing they have to do is the array. So just like we always talk about, rows always comes first, then columns. Race, car, rows, columns. So rows is your number of groups, so 5 groups. So they can draw 5 straight lines. We talk about making sure that they stop and start, kind of, pretty much the same, just so they can have a nice, neat picture. So they can trace with their finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 rows. And on my columns is going to be how many are in each, there's that word again, row. And so our other number is 4. There's 4 in each group. There's going to be 4 in each row. So I always have them set up their first row. That's going to be the one you build everything else off of, just so that you can have a neat lined up picture. So just using that guideline to fill it in. This is probably the hardest one for the students, just because a lot of times they just want to slap some dots on there and it's really not lined up in rows and columns. So truly it's not an array. So that's why we just practice this method of drawing our lines, setting up that first row so that everything else can easily be seen as a column, and they can trace those 2 to practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I had 5 rows, 4 columns. Now repeated addition. Again, 5 groups, 5 rows. Now we're going to repeat a number 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we're repeating each time, we are repeating the number 4. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. And they just turn that into repeated addition, and here they actually need to have a sum, an answer to their addition problem. So they can use their equal groups picture, they can use their array, they can pull together like numbers here. They know these doubles. They know 8 and 8 should be 16, and then you have 17, 18, 19, 20. Again, they can use their pictures if they need to, but hopefully they're kind of moving away from the pictures to finding those facts that they know. And then the last thing they're going to do is think, okay, I did 5 groups, 5 rows. I repeated a number 5 times. That's my first factor. Times 4 is what I repeated and had in each group. My product is 20. And this is just something we say all the time. Factor times factor equals product. It's important for them to know that vocabulary. When they get into some harder questions, even on the GMAS, they're not going to use numbers answer. They're going to use terms like factor and product. So the kids just need to know what those are, what they mean. But we practice saying that all the time. Factor times the factor equals product. Also, if it's multiplication, you should have an X. If it's addition, you should have a plus sign. Making sure that they're not switching those two up. So that's just kind of an overview of everything they need to do tomorrow, just to show that, hey, I can read a word problem, I can break it down, I can show it to you in equal groups, I can show it to you in an array, repeated addition, and ultimately I understand that I'm showing the fact 5 times 4 is 20.